Hi everyone, it's Sunday, June 23rd, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. Starting with the United States, again this week, steer prices were steady, mainly due to a lack of availability on some of the more popular selections. Sellers were able to insist on steadier, better prices thanks to their well-forward sold positions on those particular steers. Some steers gained 50 cents here or $1 there, but still no one was going to call it a better market overall. Some sellers said that trades were more numerous, but that volumes are still small. But it comes down to the fact that hides are still moving at steady prices, and that's always a good thing. With regard to heavy Texas steers, prices were firmer this week with trades as high as $23 on 62, 64 pound averages. This week, the cow sector saw some surprising trades that moved a larger volume and helped stabilize the situation a little bit. Interest is still not great, but some say they've seen a slight uptick, although prices are weekly steady. U.S. slaughter for the week was just a few thousand hides lower than last week at 662,000. Combined export sales of over 670,000 exceeded slaughter this week, and that hasn't happened very often this year. Shipments were higher at 547,800,000, but it was not enough to keep pace with supply. In our market observations this week, we take a look at what's going on with the current steady price situation and the factors involved in that. From Brazil, editor Ronald Guiel reports that the market situation is still difficult in Brazil. Fresh hide prices dropped again this week, selling at 21 US cents. Not much has been happening in the market there because of exchange rate shifts that are favoring buyers and not sellers. TR1 remains at around 50 cents per square foot. After last week's decline, Argentina's market was also quiet with no changes. And other news items from Brazil, we report that JBS is expanding one of its plants. Sales at Riva Shoe in Italy generated more than $34 million in business for Brazilian exhibitors, and we also have a cattle and beef market update for Brazil. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have news about Argentina's move to eliminate the minimum price for footwear imports, Mexico's discussion of measures to punish illegal trade practices, and a story about an opinion piece in a Uruguayan newspaper that doubts the global issues that are currently affecting the leather market and their relationship to the Zenda tannery closures. It's a very interesting point of view, to say the least. Turning to Europe, our editor Andrea Guolo reports that UK ox continues to be under pressure, even with prices at 85 pence per kilo for the 36 plus selection. With regard to cows in Europe, the price range on sales has widened a bit depending on quality, even within an origin. With lambskins, Spanish lambskins, especially for medium and high-end leather goods, show no signs of weakening, and in fact, there's a huge gap between the low and the high end. Atrofino is selling at 13 euros 50 cents, while double-faced merino is at over 15 euros. And the best grades of merino made even bigger gains and are now over 14 euros. In his analysis this week, Andrea talks about the situation with slaughter in Europe and how it's affecting prices, some increased interest from the Chinese on certain hides, and he has a look at where tanneries are with supplies and production levels at this point in the year. So that's all we have for today, and until next week, good night from HideNet.